Hey guys, and welcome to the second chat for Cold in the Rain. I'm so excited to be here. We had a great chat yesterday, had a lot of fun, answered a lot of questions. And then after yesterday's chat, you guys actually came back to me with even more questions than I had yesterday. So I got quite a few to answer today, which I'm very happy and very excited about. Just a few things. First of all, if you are here in the room or if you're on Facebook, feel free to send me a message during the broadcast, or if you're here to comment, and I will definitely give you a shout out and discuss whatever is on your mind about the book. Very happy to do that. If you are using your mobile or cell phone, whatever you call it, depending on where you're from, apparently you can't comment on YouTube with your cell phone unless you have the web version on your cell phone. So you can either activate that if you wish to comment, or you can go on Facebook and message me, and I'll be more than happy to hear from all of you. So a big hi and hello, and once again, thank you so much for yesterday. I had so much fun, and thank you for all of your responses and all of your questions. It was, such positive reviews from you guys, and I really appreciate that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yesterday I read out comments for chapters 32 and 33. So if you weren't here yesterday, you can go back to that one. I addressed a few comments from chapter 32 and quite a few comments on chapter 33. So you can go back and have a look at that anytime. And likewise, if you missed today's one, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to let me know and comment below what you thought of today's chat if you're watching this delayed. So yeah, just a big hi, hello, and welcome to you all, no matter where you're tuning in from. It's just a blessing to be here. Thank you very much. And are you all excited for the final chapter? It's coming out on Monday. That's the plan at the moment anyway. The plan is Monday. If it's not Monday, it'll be Tuesday. But yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait to reveal that to you. Okay, so I've got some questions here that I will read out. First of all, I just want to give some shout outs to people. So first of all, I just want to send a shout out to Yora15, Lal or LAL, M Dexter, Raven24, Superco7, Nikki4 or Nikki IV, Leon T, Halo22, Hayol, Leanne, Napa J, Jesse, Karma J, Stacy S, Sammy_D, Linda J, Alice254, Thomas_H, Damien, Awakening 1991, This Is Just Me, Reclama, Buxter, Buxdir, I believe that's Buxter, correct me if I'm wrong, Moscow Monkey, and Deja. I just want to say thank you to all of you. You guys are all amazing, and in the past 24 to 48 hours, you've either commented or you've asked a question or whatever, and I thank you so much for that. And most of you watched yesterday's show, whether you watched it live or delayed is absolutely fine. And yeah, some of you told me about the issues you were having because you were watching the show on your cell or your mobile, depending on where you're from, what you call it. Yeah, and that is the issue. You can't comment, as I was saying a moment ago, on your mobile direct to YouTube unless you're using the web version. But we have a couple of different options. You can comment from your phone if you use the web version, or you can just go onto your PC, or you can comment to me through Facebook. If you do it live, I will certainly mention it on the air. If you do it delayed, I thank you very much for that also, and I will respond to you. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and I've enjoyed each and every moment of doing these chats. This is the last chat we will do. However, if you guys would like a third chat, I will do it once I've released the last chapter. So we've got 2 more chapters to go, one this Monday or Tuesday, depending on how I go, and then one the week after, which will be basically the wrap up of everything. If you guys want to have another chat, after I release the last chapter, more than happy to do that. Also, I want to thank you guys for getting back to my question yesterday of what to do with the third book. The comments have varied. Some people are asking for a new book. Some people are asking for a third book. And so I'm glad to hear all of your opinions, and thank you very much for that. I even had some people requesting I continue with the power of three. So there were a lot of different comments, and I just feel so blessed. So thank you very, very much for letting me know that. This chat will most likely go for an hour, but I said that yesterday, and then we went over an hour. We're like an hour and 5 minutes or something, I think it was. Or were we just under an hour? I don't know. Anyway, this one will stick to the hour, but I have got a lot of questions to get through, and I will do my best to get to each and every one. And if we are close enough to the end by the time we get to the end of the hour, I will go over so that we can read, so I can get through every question. But if we just simply don't have enough time, I won't get through them all. So I just want to start off and say thank you to all of you that did leave questions. And if I didn't get to it, I apologize. Send the question to me again, however you've done it, through Facebook or PMing me on Fanfic or on Twitter or wherever. I appreciate it. Send it to me again, and I'll just type a response to you guys. So it just comes down to how much time we have. But thank you all again so much for your support throughout the whole series of this book, and thank you so much for your support from the chat yesterday and for being here today. I really appreciate it. So we got 30 questions, so let's get started. My first question is from Emily, and Emily writes, Cold in the Rain is a very interesting read. Where did you get your ideas for the book from? Thank you, Emily, for your question. So Cold in the Rain, the ideas for this book were sort of based off the prequel, Fighting for No Reward, and my ideas for Fighting for No Reward came from TV shows, I would say, and that really continued with this book. And people have picked up on that with certain characters saying, oh, this one's this and that one's that and whatever. And that's great. But at the end of the day, I hope that everyone appreciates that these are not those people. These are people that are similar to them, but they are their own characters in their own right. So, yeah. But so lots of different TV shows, especially for Cold in the Rain. I mean, I really don't want to mention them all, but obviously, Gilmore Girls, obviously Queer as Folk, and there are actually quite a few others. One of them, I will reveal, The Secret Life of the American Teenager was one of them. And that actually gave me the inspiration for Rick. In case anyone didn't know, now you know. So yeah, thank you to all those shows that give me that inspiration. But basically, it was simply that inspiration. It planted a seed, and then I was able to come up with a story from there that I felt was quite original compared to, what you see in those shows. The characters may be similar to the characters that I based them around, but the story itself was different in one way or some ways or another in comparison to the actual show. So I hope you like that. And thank you, Emily, for your question. My second question is from James. James writes, I love writing, but my family doesn't really support it, which makes it tough. Oh, it would. Do you have any advice, and what does your family think of your writing? James, first of all, I'm so sorry that your parents aren't getting on board with your writing and that they're not supporting it. I am very lucky and very blessed that I have a family that is very supportive of my creative side. So much so that I'm actually going to be working collaboratively with a member of my family on the third book if we end up doing a third book in the series. So yeah, big shout out to you. You know who you are. So yeah, I am happy with that. But, in saying that, of course, I think everyone has family members or a family member or whatever who doesn't agree or, doesn't support what you want to do, especially if it is you going into a risky environment. I haven't heard any family member that doesn't support a generalization such as I just want to get a job or whatever. But yeah, certainly. I mean, I grew up being into singing, acting, and dancing. I loved the theatre, and that's what I studied predominantly in high school. I did music performance, solo singing. I did dance class, I did theatre, I did drama. And yeah, there were people in my family who either didn't support it or who were very quick to say to me, you know what, fine, but have a backup option. You know, they didn't really just jump on board and go, yep, this is perfect for you. I'm not saying everyone in my family did that, because that's certainly not the case. There were people who did get on board and who certainly supported me, but not everyone in the family did. So I understand that. As far as your writing is concerned, I understand that it is tough. So yeah, but as far as my writing, to answer the second part of your question, my family does support me. My advice to you is don't let them get you down. At the end of the day, and I don't know how old you are, but at the end of the day, we all grow up and go on our way. It's our own choices. You know, Albus Dumbledore in Harry Potter makes a very profound comment to Harry when he says, or quote, that it is our choices that make us who we are. And so I would say just continue to do it anyway. If they don't support it at all, for example, in the house or whatever, you know, there's always public libraries and stuff like that. Or, you know, if you go to school, for example, I'm sure you can probably learn a computer at school. There's always ways to do it at the end of the day. But yeah, if you have any more troubles, please feel free to write back to me again, James, and I'll be very happy to help you through that. You know, just remember you're never alone. There are a lot of people in the same boat as you with families that don't support them or friends that don't support them with dreams and goals. And at the end of the day, if we can all stick together, we can all fight as one and, you know, eventually make this world not only a better place, but a place that we all love and enjoy and have fun in. So thank you for your question there, James. Okay, Olivia. Olivia writes, I love the title of the book, Cold in the Rain. How did you come up with the name? Well, I really thought hard about whether or not to reveal this to everyone, but I decided in the end that I would, because a lot of people were wondering how I came up with that, and they love the metaphor. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have a favorite singer in Australia. She's well known in Australia, sort of known in the US, but certainly well known in Australia. Her name is Delta Goodrem. And Delta has released a few songs that I love. One of the songs that she released is a song called it's called Electric Storm. And the first two lines of that song are fighting for no reward. And then the second line is cold in the rain. I love it. You know, a lot of Delta Goodrem's songs are basically welcoming you to Metaphor City, and they're wonderful titles, and they certainly give me a lot of inspiration. And it wasn't that I just went, oh, I'm just going to put a sentence from her song into my book. They spoke to me as great titles for the book. And this book certainly is a metaphor about, you know, being cold in the rain. I mean, Andy is basically stuck out there, you know, he's, everything, feeling cold and alone, and well, not alone exactly, but feeling betrayed and not knowing who to trust. And I think it's a perfect metaphor. So thank you, Olivia, for your question. Okay. Dylan writes, not that I am not satisfied with the book, but if you had to do it all over again, would you change anything? I don't really know if I would. I think, you know, one of the quotes that I live by is that, you know, you shouldn't live life with regrets. So I don't think I would, to be honest. But who knows? But at this stage, I probably wouldn't. There are books out there that I have written that I would say yes, that I would change things. But Cold in the Rain, I'm actually very satisfied with. It's probably one of the first books that I was pretty much completely satisfied with. So I probably wouldn't change anything about this book. So, but thank you anyway for your question. I really appreciate it, Dylan. Okay, Jasmine writes, I love reading and writing, and clearly you do also. Yes, I do, and it's great to hear that. What cultural value do you see in writing and reading? I see a huge cultural value into writing and reading. I'm definitely one of those people who is not only an avid writer, but an avid reader. I think there is just so much that reading can do for you. You know, on a minor scale, for people who stress out or get completely in their head or over analytical or whatever. And I know quite a few few people that are like that. I certainly used to be that way. So I can sympathize and empathize at the same time. You know, on a minor scale, it puts you into another world, and so that's great. Gives you, you know, gives you a chance to sort of escape reality, which is nice. You know, it's not, and you know, it's not like you're deluding yourself or anything. You know, I think one of the worst comments out there, and this is just my opinion, is the comment of delusions of grandeur. I don't think there is any such thing as a delusion of grandeur. If you want to achieve anything in life, just go for it, like I was saying in the last video. So I think that's one of the things. Another thing is it has actually been scientifically proven that people who read books, it actually not only improves their vocabulary, but, you know, people who read books are generally smarter than those who don't. I'm not saying that you're not smart if you don't read, because, you know, everyone's smart in all different ways. You know, there's mental smarts, physical smarts, street smarts, you know, all different sorts of smarts. But definitely I would say that reading has its positives, and it is sad. I feel like, you know, reading is being, you know, it's going to say weeded out of our culture. It's not as common when you ask people if they read, especially in my age group. I'm 29 at the moment. But even for the last 5-6 years, when I've asked people about, oh, what are you reading or whatever, you know, unless someone turned around and said, oh, I'm reading Harry Potter, because obviously it was such had such a huge following, or what was the other one? Twilight. You know, people would just say, oh, no, I'm not reading. Or, you know, if they used to even read, they'll say, oh, you know, I used to read, but I'm not reading anymore. I just don't have the time, or I just don't want to, or, you know, that's something I did back in high school. But I think everyone can read. I mean, even if you just take 2 to 3 minutes, you know, I think it can only be a positive thing if we continue to turn to books. So that's my thought on that. Thank you, Jasmine, for allowing me to talk about that, because I do think it's huge that we keep books going, and we keep people reading. You know, J.K. Rowling was revered as one of the best people, you know, in this world, to turn a whole generation of children back to reading. And I think that's one of the greatest things that anyone can do. We all should get back to reading, and it's not, you know, that to an age and you can't read or whatever. Certainly not. I know people who are much younger than me. I know people who are my age. I know people who are much older than me that read. And when I say read, I don't just mean like the newspaper or magazines. I mean actual novels. So yeah, it's for anyone and everyone. And yeah, I think the cultural value is that it will just help everyone in so many different ways. So I hope that answers your question. I know it was a little muddled, but I hope that answers your question there, Jasmine. If you want further insight, just feel free to write to me again. Okay, Michael. Michael asks, your book doesn't seem to go down any spiritual path. If anything, what faith would you say Andy follows? Yeah, you're right. Because the reason that they don't go down any spiritual paths, so to say, I mean, love can be seen as a spirit in and of itself, but, you know, I accept if people don't accept that, that's fine. But it just, you know, faith and spirituality, it really wasn't required in this book. Sure, maybe I could have gone there. You know, we could have had a scene where everyone prayed that they would find Andy. Find Jay, sorry, not Andy. But yeah, I just didn't think it was needed in this book. If anything, what faith does he follow? I don't know. I think, but I don't think it would be any sort of hard pressed faith. I don't think he would be, you know, Catholic or Christian or, you know, anything like that. It would probably be a free flowing, I don't know, you know, like Wicca or Kabbalah, or I don't know if he is. He's very, you know, he's very much a free spirit. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, the reason for that is that, yeah, as I say, I just didn't feel like it was needed. But thank you, Michael, for your question, and I appreciate it. Okay, Jade writes, I started off reading this book online, but I just found out. Sorry. I started off reading this book online, but I just found it wasn't the same, so I printed off some chapters. Do you have a preference between reading books online or ebooks and printed books? Yes, Jade, I do. You know, we were certainly touching upon reading and the culture of reading before, and I'm glad you asked me this question because now I can go a step further with that. Um, Look, I understand that it's more convenient to read a book online or to read an ebook. I do, believe me. You know, especially with something like, say, fanfic. It takes a lot of dedication to print out, in some cases, you know, especially for this book, like 900 pages, um, you know, to read it as an actual book. So I appreciate that. But in most cases, yeah, I am an actual, you know, printed book lover. Um, I was watching an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer quite a few years ago, and Giles, the guy that works in the library, he said this great quote where he was talking to this teacher at the school who teaches computers, and they were talking about the difference between computers and books. And Giles said, you know, but you can't smell a computer. You know, each printed book, no matter how old it is, had some individual smell, you know, and it's like, if you are an avid lover of reading physical printed books, you will understand what he is saying. They have their own smell. You're actually holding them. They're a bigger part of you, I feel personally, than reading it online. In saying that, if the choice is between an ebook, reading online, or nothing at all, absolutely. I'm all for ebooks. If it turns over a generation and keeps people reading, yes, I'm for it. But if it's between ebooks and online versus printed books all the way. There's just, you know, yeah, yeah, no comparison between the two, as my dear friend Kylie would say. No comparison between the two. So thank you, Jade. Okay, Ashley writes, reading doesn't seem to be as popular these days as it once was. Where do you think the future of reading is headed? Well, I got a lot of questions about reading and the culture of reading and all that, but I wanted to keep them in because I appreciate that people are looking beyond the book and talking about the culture of reading and writing itself. Now, Ashley is asking, where do I think the future of reading is headed? Sadly, I think the future of reading, if anything, is headed for online or in ebooks. But to be honest, I really don't see people reading for too much longer, and that's really sad. Sure, you've got avid hardcore fans like myself who love to read and love to write, and you know, we will keep reading, you know, till our dying day. But yeah, I think reading is being weeded out. Sorry about that. And it's really sad. Very sad to see. So, you know, if you know someone who doesn't read, you know, if you can just, you know, convince one person to read, excuse me, like that would be my little challenge from this video to you guys. If you are a reader and you don't want to lose reading, if you can just turn one person who's not reading onto reading, whether it is online, an ebook, or in a novel, and everyone who watches this turns one person, we will save the world of books. We really will. And, you know, a great example, and certainly that's evident to what I'm saying here, that, you know, I don't think there's a lot of future for reading, is that I don't know about other places around the world, but certainly in Australia, we've lost a lot of bookstores. Um, like Borders was a very popular bookstore, and now you can only get Borders books online. I don't know if Angus Thompson's still around, but the store I used to go to is not anymore. You can only get that online. So, you know, even the experience for me, as I said, I love everything about printed book. Even the experience for me of just going into the bookstore and picking up a physical book, you know, it's so much better than, you know, ordering it online. And it's just sad to see where it's all going. So, yeah. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, Patrick says, your book is amazing. However, if you couldn't be an author, what would your ideal career be? Well, I touched on that a little bit before. I always wanted to be in the performing arts. You know, growing up in high school, I was a part of the high school productions, and I had so much fun. I love anything to do with the performing arts, whether it be singing, acting, or dancing. As far as theatre is concerned, I love musical theatre. I have a great passion for it. Um, So yeah, if I wasn't writing, I'd probably do that. But I can't knock the career that I do have outside of this book, which is I'm actually a tennis court supervisor for Tennis Australia, and that's really awesome. So I can't knock that because tennis is another passion of mine. I'm quite obsessed with tennis, and a lot of times when people try to call me or message me or whatever, and I'm not responding, people who know me well are like, "Oh yeah, he's watching the tennis," So I am grateful and happy. I have a job that I'm so passionate about, and obviously that's why I really want my arm to recover as soon as possible. So please, pray for me or waver if you're religious, and if you're not, just you know, keep me in your thoughts. But yeah, so hopefully I can return to that really soon. And yeah, if you want to talk to me about the tennis side of things or whatever, or even the performing arts side of things, feel free to write to me, and I'll more about that there. But we are pressed for time, so we'll keep moving. But thank you for your comment, Patrick, and I'm glad that you love the book, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing who the head villain is and who's on the team. Kyle's. Lauren had an obsession with coffee. Mel seemed to be stuck in her job for most of the book, and Debbie comes off as very unapologetic. Are there any parallels between you and these characters' personality traits, obsessions, or negative? Yes, definitely. Lauren has an obsession with coffee. She was always going to. And though people think I just based that off of Lorelai from Gilmore Girls having an obsession with coffee. It's actually more of an obsession that I have, and it's based around me. And that's also why Andy has an obsession with coffee as well. I am, and it's not, I used to say it's a love for coffee, but it's not. Someone once said I have an obsession with coffee, and I do. The most coffees I drink in a day is probably 10, which freaks a lot of people out. But definitely it's doable for me because I love my coffee and I can just keep drinking it all day. So definitely that one. Nell's stuck in her job for most of the book. I think we, in a way, need to be stuck in our job. We're clocked on. We'll obviously have different jobs and different requirements that come of that. And, some people are structured out, some are laissez-faire or whatever. But I think we are sort of stuck in our job when we're employed and everything, and so I think that's just normal. But especially as a lawyer, if I was a lawyer, I would be the same thing because it does take a lot to be a lawyer. It's not just about when you're in the courtroom, or just when you're at the office or in the courtroom. It's also a lot of homework at home. So it's her life. Do I have that trait? Not really, but if I were to become a lawyer, and I do have a fascination with the law, I probably would. But yeah, so not really at this stage though. And Debbie coming across as very unapologetic. I'd like to say that's me. I was watching an Australian version of the reality show Big Brother a couple of years ago, and there was a player in the show called an housemate in the show called Priya Malik, and Priya had this tag of herself. She was unapologetically Priya, and I learned a lot from that. How to be unapologetic and stand up for yourself and not cross that line between being a snob, but just standing up for yourself and who you are. And so in some ways, yes, I do feel like I am unapologetic. Okay, Marcus. Sorry, guys. I apologize about that. Marcus writes, you had many differing themes in your book. Where do you get your information or ideas for Cold in the Rain from? Well, I sort of answered that before. But as far as the themes are concerned, all over really. Things that really influence my writing are TV shows, movies, other books, things I go through. So that's what sort of influences it. Like, for example, Pretty Little Liars had a great influence on the whodunit, final section of this book. The lovey-dovey side, probably more Gilmore Girls. or even quaff. It's like, so yeah, I hope that answers the question, Marcus. Okay, Ellie, we've got about 25 minutes. Ellie says, Cold in the Rain has been a 5.5 month process so far, and you mentioned in the chat yesterday that you've been writing the book itself for 13 months. How long, generally speaking, does it take you to write a book? Yeah, no, that's true. So the book has been published for about 5.5 months. It'll be about 6 months by the time we're done, which is awesome. But yeah, as I did say yesterday, and thank you for watching. Yeah, so just say I started writing it last year in January, so it has been 13 months. To answer your question there, Ellie, it really depends on the book, on the size of the book, yeah, I mean, with this book, the chapters were longer than I've done before. So by the time we got to the end, like the last couple of chapters, my aim for word count's been about 3,500. So, I mean, that's, not so easy. Some people write more. So go them. Kudos to them. I can't tell you a total amount of time, but I can say that each chapter in itself takes me about a week to write. But in saying that, because this isn't my number one job, it's not I'm writing 24/7. And if I was, it would probably take a lot less time. I probably take about an hour or two, maybe three at the absolute most per day. And sometimes I skip days. So yeah. Yeah, hope that answers your question, but it really does vary. It comes down to one, word count, and two, when the due date is to put the chapter up. Because with this book, with Cold in the Rain, I was uploading every week or every fortnight, whatever the case may be, depending on the time. And so therefore, I took that time. There was a time when I was ahead, which I loved. There were two times when I was ahead, but most of the time I was actually up to where you guys were, like right up to the end of the chapter that I published when I published it. So I then had the next week or the next fortnight to write, the next chapter or next two chapters. When I'm not restricted to that, it can take longer. So it comes down to a lot of variables, but that's a great question, and thank you so much for asking it. Oscar writes, great book, Francois. Looking forward to the reveal. Oh, thanks, Oscar. We all are, and I'm so looking forward to giving you guys all those answers. We all know good writers have an outside life. What do you like to do when you are not writing? Oh, good question. Well, yeah, quite a few things. I'll be the first to admit, I've already said it, but I'll be the first to admit I love TV, I love movies, so I'll be the first to admit that a nice relaxing day for me, rather than going out and, I don't know, going out and doing something, might be just me sitting down and binge watching a show or watching a movie or something. So yeah, I love doing that. But there are other things as well. I love playing tennis. I love singing. Oh, I love karaoke. Thank you, YouTube. Like, while I'm here on YouTube, thank you, YouTube, for all of the karaoke's. To everyone who uploads the karaoke's that I sing, I love you all. They are all perfect in their own way. So thank you so much. And if anyone else loves karaoke, I definitely will recommend going to YouTube, because they have a lot of great, karaoke's on there. So yeah, definitely, try that out. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I also sing karaoke in public, and that's awesome. So I've done that a couple of times at DT's, which is a pub in Richmond in Victoria, and that was really a lot of fun, and other places, and it's great to feed off the energy of the crowd. It's sort of like a mini show in a way. I mean, I have a lot of fun with it anyway, so that's really good. Yeah, and yeah, there are a lot of other things, but yeah, that's the main crux of it. Hanging out with friends, family, playing board games, playing games in general. I love playing games online, especially tennis, which shouldn't surprise anyone. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, and these days, as far as TV shows are concerned, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of Survivor. A couple of months ago, US version, of course, because in Australia, we only got two. One one season of Survivor and one season of Celebrity Survivor, and that was it. Then they didn't do it in Australia, which really upsets me because I would love to be on the show, but since I'm not an American citizen, I can't do that. So the plan is eventually to move to the US. This is the pipe dream, call it delusion of grandeur, but the pipe dream, to move to the US, get citizenship as quickly as I can, get a passport as quickly as I can, and then apply for Survivor and just say, okay, guys, the only reason I really, one of the only reasons I really moved here and got this passport was to be on the show. So just put me on the show. I don't care if I'm out first. People have come back to me, actually, just quickly on Survivor. I know it's off topic, but I want to mention this because I don't want to say I feel offended, but I kind of do when people say this. People, how it is unfortunate that I can't apply to be on Survivor because, we don't have it in Australia. People actually come back to me and they're like, oh, yeah, we do have Survivor. It's even on now. I'm like, oh, yeah, in America, but not Australia. I'm like, no, in Australia, it's on. You should watch every night and all these celebrities are there. Okay, let's get this quite clear. I'm sorry, but let's just get this quite clear. I am a celebrity. Get me out of here is a pale imitation at best of Survivor. It is, I don't want to say it's fake because that's probably, my emotions taking over, but really, it looks fake. It's not the same at all. I mean, if you want a very obvious difference up front, a very obvious difference is that for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, you guys, just like with your brother, phone up and decide who leaves. Where in Survivor in the US, the actual show, it is the castaways who decide who do it all the way through to the end. The last section make up a jury and then they vote for the winner. So, America doesn't even have a say on it, which I think is better because you've found the island with people for 24 hours and we're only seeing, out of, say, 3 days, we only see 1 hour. Yeah, really. How can we really vote? But yeah, a lot of differences. So it's not the same. I will move on, but I just want to make that passionate statement. If you do not like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, give Survivor a chance because they are two completely different things. On the other hand, if you don't like Survivor, give I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here a go. And also give My Kitchen Rules a go. It's the only Australian show I am watching at the moment. I say that with pride. I love my American TV. Okay, I'll be honest, I'm an Australian, but I love my American TV. But I do love the Australian show My Kitchen Rules. I'm actually one of those people that is upset that Jessica is out, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so give My Kitchen Rules a go, and it's a great show. Because I love reality TV, clearly. Reality games TV, rather than actual reality. Okay, next question, Bree. So thank you for your question there. That was from Tim, so thank you, Tim. Oh, no. Sorry, that wasn't from Tim. That was from Oscar. Thank God I looked there. This is the question from Tim. So thank you, Oscar. Tim, you mentioned yesterday that you have written a few books. Which of all the ones you have written is your favorite? I'm not just saying this because we're on the live chat. I actually mean it. This Cold in the Rain is my favorite book I've written to date, without a doubt. I love it. And so, it's not just because of all the positive reviews and international, success that it's had, which I admit indeed is, is a big part of it. But it's not just that. I actually enjoyed writing this book. I love it. As I mentioned earlier, someone was asking, would I do anything differently? I wouldn't, because I am so satisfied with this book. Where there are books that I've written in the past that I wasn't satisfied with. If anyone's convinced that I'm taking the cheap way out just by saying this one, I will offer up another one. And it would have to be The Power of Three, Past, Present, Power of Three, Part 2. That was a lot of fun to write as well. And of course, Fighting for No Reward. Okay, so thank you, Tim. Bree asks, what about the whodunit genre interest? There's something about mystery that intrigues me, and obviously you guys. There is one thing to read a one-dimensional book, and I'm not, saying anything against one-dimensional books. They're great. They really are. They're fun. But with whodunit books, you're always guessing. As a lot of you keep saying to me, I'm still guessing, and when I think it's this one, it's not this one because it could be that one, and it's just so much fun. Especially for those of us who are over-analyzers and always get into our heads and, sort of thing. straight away, the first person that comes to my mind, if you think of Survivor, is Spencer. And funny enough, by the same name, Pretty Little Liars, Spencer. If you're one of those people like that that really just gets into your head, and me too, gets into your head, whodunit shows, whodunit books, the whodunit genre is fantastic because you can lay awake at night theorizing, okay, is it this person? Is it that person? Okay, and try and match the clues. Go, okay, well, if this happened here and that happened there, well, then that means it's not that person. Okay, so we'll count that one out. And the next thing you know, like, because especially with me for Pretty Little Liars, the next thing you know, you've come up with like 20 different names, and then you're trying to get the list down to 5 and 3 and 2 and all this, and it's just so much fun and even more fun to write. So yeah, that's what it is. It's the mystery and the intrigue and just not knowing what's going to come next. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Tim. Madeline asks about one of the shows I just mentioned. One of the chapters entitled Pretty Little Chuckle mentions the show Pretty Little Liars. Did the show inspire you in any way? I'm glad you remembered the chapter too. Yes, Pretty Little Chuckle. And that was the chapter where Jay gets a text and Andy laughs, and Jay's not finding it funny, and Andy just says, oh, yeah, this is just a big joke, because, you know, someone who likes Pretty Little Liars, they just didn't put A at the end. But obviously it was a lot more than that, because that was the first very serious text that was written. That was sent, I should say. Yes, Pretty Little Liars inspired me big time, but not for the reason that everyone thinks. Pretty Little Liars inspired me as far as the whodunit side of this story because of the fact that I was completely dissatisfied with the way they revealed CC Charlotte as being A. And if you haven't watched all Pretty Little Liars, I just spoiled that for you, so I'm really sorry. I was not satisfied at all, and yeah, so I wanted to create a whodunit scenario where I could really satisfy my readers in a way that I, at the very least, expected from Pretty Little Liars. Because, you know, it would have been great if they'd gone above and beyond, but, you know, what's the opposite to above and beyond? You know, like below and backwards. You know, and it really was sort of, if you will, below and backwards for me. I really hated it. So yeah, PLL inspired me to change that up, and not change it up, but to make sure that I give my readers an ending that is satisfactory, unlike the ending that they gave. So yeah, it inspired me in that way. Thank you. Okay, Peter asks, do you write pen to paper first, or go straight to keyboard? Also, do you write alone or in public? And do you write in silence or with music or background noises? Okay, it's 3 questions there, but still, they all sort of mesh together. Okay, I used to write pen to paper first. My first 4, maybe 5, maybe even more, Power of 3 books were pen to paper for the entire chapter and then typing it up and then uploading it. But I realized that it just wasn't the best idea for me to do that. As much as it seems more, you know, in a way ethical to be writing pen to paper or even to be using a typewriter. It's just, it sort of cuts out the middleman and makes it a little easier if you just type it. Rather than writing it and then typing it, it just takes double if not triple the time. So yeah, I go straight to keyboard. Also, do you write alone or in public? I write alone now, but I used to write in public. There were times when I wrote in cafes. There were times when I put pen to paper and I would write, you know, on the train, you know, going to work or going to school or wherever I was going. You know, people were around me, I would write, you know, if people were watching TV and I wasn't into the show, I might, you know, grab my notebook and just make notes or start writing or whatever. So yeah, I used to do all of them, but now it's alone. Likewise, do I write in silence with music or background noises? I write alone because I want to be in silence, have silence around me. So even like, so I write in my study. I even close the study door when I write because I want there to be nothing that's going to distract me from the book because I get so engrossed into the book. It's almost like I fall into the book when I'm writing it, and I'm writing, what I'm seeing around me, and like I'm actually living this moment. And different people do things differently. There are studies out there that, unbelievably for me, show that music and background noises really help people to concentrate. They don't for me. I can't. I'd love to say that I can put on music and it helps, but it doesn't. It actually distracts me. Whether I love or hate the song or love or hate what's happening in the background, I need absolute silence, so that I'm A, not distracted, but B, I can get completely engrossed in the book. So thank you for that question, Peter. Brianna asks, do you set goals of writing X amount of words per week or chapter, or do you just wing the amount? Also, I have noticed comparatively to your previous books that you write a lot more this time per chapter. Was there a reason for this? Okay, so do I set goals of writing X amount of words per week? Well, not per week, per chapter. And even sometimes per day. So, at the moment it's 3,500. I think I started with 2,500. Double check that, guys, for me. So 3,500 words per chapter is, I want to go over that. So if it's like 3,507 or whatever, that's fine. It's 3,600, that's fine. But I like to go over 3,500. So that's the goal for the chapter. And so maybe for the day, I might say, okay, let's try and get bang out 500 words, or let's bang out 250 words today, or whatever. So definitely, as much as I may not plan everything that happens, I do plan the amount of words per chapter, and the amount of words that I aim to do that day, I do most of the time. I've noticed comparatively to your previous books that you write a lot more this time per chapter. Was there a reason for this? Yes, definitely. I gotta say, I'm one of those people that I write a book and then I read it. And the reason I'm reading this is for two reasons. One, I'm reading it with you guys. So like when I got to about, I think it was like chapter 25, I actually went to chapter 1 and started reading my way through, for two reasons. One, so I could keep up with you guys, and two, so I could cover any plot holes along the way, because, yeah, there's nothing like not filling in plot holes, Marlene King. Yeah, so what I realized, when I was reading the other books that I wrote that were nowhere near as many words as this, is that I could read the book in a couple of days, and I didn't want that. I wanted, not a couple of days, like, I mean, if I was reading it cover to cover, I could read it within an hour. And yeah, I mean, I'm someone who loves my reading. I'm someone who wants to have a couple of days to read a book, like, not an hour if I'm reading cover to cover. So that's why I did it. And also I wanted this to be like a proper book length, as opposed to, say, a mini book or something like that. So yeah, that's why I did that. I hope that you're enjoying the long amount. Okay, Claire writes, what is your favorite scene in the book and your least favorite? I love that you say scene in inverted commas, because that's what I call it. So I call them scenes. It's like, let's say, like viewing it, whether, inside there or like it's a TV show or whatever. My favorite scene in the book, oh, it's tough. There's so many to choose from. I don't know. I really don't know. I got three. Probably the courtroom, the court case, not the pre-trial, the actual case, is one of them, because that was so much fun to write and to read, like to write and to read. So I love that. I love the scene where Jay arrives into New Haven, and Andy, he knocks on Ben and Mika's apartment door. Neither of them are home, and Andy opens the door and realizes his partner will be there for him. I love reading that; very heartwarming. But yeah, another one of my favorites would definitely have to be where Andy and Mika are in hospital together, and they have that conversation about what happened at Babylon. But also, going into the comical side, like Mika saying, okay, Andy's like, okay, where do we go from here? And Mika says, oh, what do you think sort of thing we're going to do from here? I'm going to put my dressing gown on right now. I'm going to go down to the beach and, we're going to look for hotties and stuff like that. I mean, it was just a great bonding moment because with Fighting for No Reward, we left off with Andy acknowledging his uncle and his partner to be his parents, Papa and Dad. And so it was nice to have that father-son or papa-son moment. So I love writing and reading that as well. And just quickly, a couple of you have asked this question. I didn't put it in here, but this reminds me, so I'll answer it for you. I do want to have a distinction between what Mika and Ben will be referred to as by Andy, because once they have that connection of father-son, I didn't feel like it would be appropriate for Andy to just call them Ben and Mika. Yeah, sure, there will be appropriate moments like when Ben brings Andy to say that Mika's in hospital, but for the majority of it, especially in comforting scenes or nice, sweet, happy scenes, I wanted him to call them Dad. And then I realized that how we know who he's referring to unless I give them different names. So I want to give a shout out to Lexi Charmed, who is on fanfic.net, who wrote this book, Boarding School Hell, and she ended up writing 3 books in a row, which I'm so grateful for because I love them so much. And she has, in the book, she has a gay couple, and without giving anything away, the gay couple end up adopting a kid. And the kid calls one of the parents Papa. Ever since I read that, I loved how adorably sweet and innocent it is to call a dad Papa, because it's not very common in Australia, or I would imagine in America, unless it comes from another background that's not entirely Australian or American, to hear the name Papa rather than Dad, or in the UK, Father. So yeah, really cute. Got to really continue. Okay, least favorite. I actually mentioned this yesterday. My least favorite scenes were to write and to read were the assault on Andy at the diner from B, and again B, saying what he would do to Jay at the end of the last chapter. They were my least favorite, but they were necessary. So I will say that. Thank you, Claire. All right, Jonathan, my friend and I hope you do write another book. Have you considered collaborating with other writers? Well, thank you so much for your question. I did allude to that a little earlier, actually. But I appreciate that you and your friend, hope I write another book. Thank you so much for following this one. I have considered collaborating with other writers, and I am open to that. A member of my family will join me if we do a third one, and we will collaborate together. But that doesn't mean that I don't take collaboration on board or ideas from people on board. I'm very much encouraging of, if you have an idea or something, to let me know, and I will definitely consider it. So yeah, very much happy to do that. And if that does happen, I do want to make it known, don't think I'm going to steal the credit. If I get an idea from a reader of my books, I will write in there a disclaimer saying thank you to you and that you assisted with this chapter. So you will certainly get the credit. But yeah, I love collaborating. It's always great to bounce ideas off of different people. So yes, I've considered it. Yes, I'm open to it. A family member of mine and myself will do it if there is a third book in the series. And if you guys want to be a part of it, all you need to do is send me an idea. And yeah, if it works, I will definitely use it. And if it doesn't work, I might probably find a way to make it work. So, give it a go. Thanks, Jonathan. I really appreciate that. And please thank your friend. If your friend is here, hello, friend. But please thank your friend if your friend's not here. I appreciate your question and both of you loving the book. So Reese writes, which character in Call in the Rain would you be most and least likely to get along with? That's a good question. I won't separate myself from Andy because I don't think that'd be fair, because Andy is me or too much like me. So I will say I'll put Andy out of the running. Least likely to get along with, oh God, I don't know. Sam? Probably Sam, of all the people. Because I just think he's really rude. Even though, he only had that little scene, I count him and I think it was really rude. Most likely to get along with, it's a toss-up. It really is. It really is. Probably Rain. Um, I'd probably get along most with Rain. I have a few things in common with her. No, I'm not, some, big graduate thing. I mean, yes, I did graduate with a degree, but no, not in that way. Just in her personality, I would get along, I think, with Rain the most. But I would get along with a lot of people like Nika and Lauren and Kamita and a lot of people, definitely. So thank you, Reese. Okay, Talia, if you could write about anyone, fiction or non-fiction, who would you write about? Um, well, I take this question as a celebrity question, so if it's not celebrity, get back to me, please, so that I can answer it correctly. But if I am right, I actually gave this a lot of thought because it stumped me, and I thought about this before the chat, so I have an answer for you rather than sitting here for 5 minutes going, oh, who would it be? There are a lot of people that I want to write about, but hands down, the one that takes the cake is Dame Julie Andrews. I love Julie Andrews. She's amazing, an amazing woman, an amazing actress. Everything about her is so amazing, and I would love to write a book about her. There are books written about her, and sadly, I don't have one. And yet, I have the autobiography of Serena Williams, but I love her too. Um, so yeah, I would love to write about Julie Andrews if given the opportunity as a celebrity. So I hope that answers your question. If you meant something else, please just specify it and write it to me again, and I'll definitely type a response to you. So thanks, Talia. Okay, Annie writes, and we're in now, so I'm going to try to quickly get through the rest. Annie writes, in the past you have mentioned how disappointed you were with how they revealed Cece as their main villain. Just a moment. Sorry about that. In the past, you mentioned how disappointed you were with how they revealed Cece as their main villain in Pretty Little Liars. Can you talk about that reveal and what you took from that disappointing experience to ensure people aren't disappointed with your reveal? I definitely can. We don't have a lot of time, but I will mention a few things. Okay, number one, when you have a show that has three possibilities at the least of people that you are going to reveal. So we had we had Red Coat, and we have Black Veil. The first thing you don't do is make two of those people the same person. I think everyone expected three characters, and they cut it down to two because Red Coat and Black Veil were the same person. You don't do that. Secondly, the person that it was someone that was introduced like one season before, or maybe like two at the most. And it's like, really, you don't have this person for a good 4 seasons at all? You do not know this person. You introduce her 2 seasons before, and then voila, she's a Black Veil and Red Coat. Really? And you know who I'm talking about if you watch the show, friggin' Shower Harvey. Oh my god! Like seriously, Shower Harvey, Sarah Harvey, but Sarah Harvey always wants to take a shower, so Shower Harvey. Yeah, wrong. Okay, Cece. Okay, one good thing about the fact that they revealed Cece is that you knew Cece. There was a lot of fear that we wouldn't know who this person was, because in the books it was a twin of Ali. I haven't read the books. I'm going off what people are telling me happened in the books. It was a twin of Ali that no one knew and was just a twin. And I was so adamant. Watch my YouTube video that I did before the finale. I was so adamant saying I do not want to be a twin, and it wasn't a twin. So I was happy about that. But you know, there was so much more I was expecting from Cece's point of view. And sure, she explained a few things, but what she explained, I felt was not a waste of time, but really they spent too much time on. Like how she's going, oh, I grew up as your brother, and then, you know, I went to Radley, and yeah. Really, not we don't care, but we don't need to know that. What we need to know is, you know, why did you do this to the girls? What were you hoping to get out of it? You know, what was behind it? You know, maybe some detail about it, you know, rather than just going, I hate you all for this one reason. Because basically she said to Ali, I targeted all the girls to protect you. And that was it. It was one lame response. Or protect you, or thought they killed you, something like that. Where I was hoping she was going to have different reasons and say, you know, I targeted Arya for this reason, Spence for this reason, Hannah for this reason, and, you know, this person for this reason, and whatever else. Also, there were a lot of plot holes that weren't filled. I mean, seriously, if you want a better account of this, go to YouTube and look up Kelly Wilson. Her channel is Kelly TV. I go to as many of her live chats as I can. She does live chats of PLL and other shows as well. Screen Queens, which she got me into, which I love. How to Get Away with Murder, many of them. So definitely subscribe to Kelly TV. Huge shout out to Kelly Wilson. Yeah, but just so many plot holes and just things that they tried to make matter that didn't matter. Like, for example, the barrel had this whole mystery of something was inside a barrel that was never opened, and you know, we're always going, okay, it's the mystery barrel. What's in the barrel? What's in the barrel? What's in the barrel? And then finally, we get right towards the end of we get towards where they're revealing who A is, and someone lamely says, "Oh, it was a dead animal." Okay, well, really, then what the heck was the point of that? So, a lot of plot holes, a lot of disappointment for people that it was CC, but more for me, how they went about explaining who A was really disappointing for me. So, I won't do that. If you are, for whatever reason, disappointed with the final chapter, I absolutely accept that. One of the questions I was asked in my last chat was about the difference between good reviews and bad reviews. I love bad reviews as much as I love good reviews because I love to be critiqued, so I know what I can do better in the future. If you don't like the chapter, don't feel like you can't comment. Please do. Comment. Tell me, I didn't like this. Great. Explain why, because it will definitely help me and help me on my way with my next book, so I don't do that again next time. But I hope you do. I certainly will answer a lot more questions than PLL ever did. That's my plan. Well, than PLL ever did with the main things that we're interested in. Because seriously, believe you me, PLL fans, I'm reaching out to you here when I say this. After spending 3 hours looking for the French song that was coming out of Mona's room, thinking it was a clue, I was so upset to find out that it really, really wasn't. The only clue about it was the fact that it was a French song. And that Cece went to France, where I was trying to find a song and translate the lyrics and thinking, oh, this is a big clue, you know, people dancing and yeah, whatever the song was about, dancing under the moon or something. Yeah, so hopefully I answer all your questions. And if I don't, as far as the finale, let me know. If you have questions that you want to have answered, now is a great time to tell me. Tell me between now and say Friday or Saturday at the latest. No, Friday, because if you're overseas, that would be Saturday. Yeah. So between now and Friday, just send me questions. Facebook, me at Francois Thurston, Twitter me at Mark Braxton, or on Fanfic Pride message me, Francois capital T. And yeah, definitely just ask me questions. Say, look, I really want to know the answer of this, and I'll put it in there, I promise you. Okay, so thank you for that, Annie. Ursula asks, Cold in the Rain seems to only take place in winter. Was there a reason for this? Not really. The only reason is it was set in winter. Yeah, sure, Cold in the Rain was a part of it. So it really wouldn't make sense if it was summer. But the story, I could have done a lot with the story, like jumped ahead in timelines, going, 2 months later, 5 weeks later, whatever. but I didn't really do that. And I'm actually glad that I didn't. It all takes place, within a certain period of time. And that's the only reason why it takes place within the winter season. So, and, the fact that the title's called The Rain. But other than that, there was no reason. It was just an added element to deal with, where if it was spring, it would be probably nice to be at the warehouse having a nice little nap. Or if it was, summer, having a nice little nap under the stars in the heater, and that actually might be nice. So, want to make characters a little uncomfortable. But yeah, no real big reason. Okay, I know we've gone over time. We've got about 6 more to go, so I'm going to try and rush through them to get through them. Kalinda asks, could you sum up for us what we can expect over the next 2 chapters? I understand you can't spoil it, but a rough idea would be great. Absolutely. So what I can sum up, what we can expect over the next 2 chapters? Okay, you can expect in the next chapter coming up, chapter 34, to get every single answer that you were hoping for. Again, write questions to me of answers that you really, really, really need. Otherwise, I'll suspect what I hope you need. Every single answer you will get. You will know everyone who is on Team Evil. You will know who the leader of Team Evil is, finally. You will know the motivation for the leader of Team Evil. You will know the motivation for all the members of Team Evil. Not everyone has the same motivation, and even the honchos, like not the head honcho, but the henchmen, sorry, even they have some of them have different motivations to others. So you'll know their motivations for it. You'll know why the head of Team Evil even started this in the first place. What kept them going? Why they targeted Andy when they targeted Andy? Why they took Lauren in the maze, Ben in the maze, Mel in the maze? Every single thing that I can answer, I will answer. You will know everything. There will be no stone left unturned. That's 34. And if it goes over the 3,500 word limit, unlike a couple of chapters ago, I won't split it into 2. It will just be one long chapter. But you will find it all out next chapter by Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, Monday night around 6:30, or Tuesday the latest around 6:30. You will know everything. I promise you. That's why I was saying at the end, like, you will know all. You will know all. So that's 34. 35, which is the final chapter, for the book, will be wrapping everything up. So no matter what situation everyone finds themselves in, we will wrap up the book. So, whether Team Evil wins and there's a lot of deaths and everyone's stuck, we'll wrap up the book that way. If Team Evil doesn't win and everyone's not stuck, we'll wrap up the book that way. It will be wrapped up. And so therefore, I will have the option to do book 3 or the option not to do book 3. But I will wrap up Cold in the Rain, which is good. And then I'll do an author's note, because I did an author's note for Fighting for No Reward, and that had I got a lot of positive feedback from the author's note, so thank you for that. And I will do that. And then that's it. So the reveal happens Monday or Tuesday, as I said. Then the following Monday will be the final chapter, and then the following. The day after that, the Tuesday in 2 weeks, you'll get the author's note, and then we are done with the book. So thanks for that, Kalinda. I hope that answers your question. But yeah, you will get answers to everything. And I am not going to pull a Marlene and sit here and say you're going to get answers to everything if I'm not going to give you answers to everything. I will give you answers to everything. I want my readers to trust me. I don't want my readers to question my integrity. Marlene King. So I will do that, I promise. Okay, Fernando asks, what was the prospect? What was the prospect of choosing Team Evil and the head villain like? Did you choose someone right away, or did a suspect pop up later on? I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I think Marlene King lies, and I don't like to lie. I did not know who the head of Team Evil was until the first time a search group went out searching. So the very first search group that went out, I think it was including Rain and Ben and some others, maybe Jenny, I don't recall. The first time they went out, I knew who the henchmen were. I came up with, I think was there 5 or 6 henchmen? Yeah, let's say there are 5 henchmen. I don't know if it's 5 or 6, I can't recall, but let's say it's 5 henchmen and one leader of Team Evil. I came up with the 6 henchmen then. So I went, okay, these are the 6. Then it was about 2 or 3 chapters later, because I was umming and ahhing, and then I locked one in and went, wait, no, this sounds better. And then I woke up one morning and it just came to me. I don't know if I had a dream about it or what, but it just came to me. I went, oh my God, perfect, I'll lock this in. So it was about 2 or 3 chapters later, and then I knew exactly who the head villain was. And what was it like? It was a lot of fun. And I really hope you enjoy who I chose and why. Okay, Miriam asks, did you consult with anyone before making your final choice on who the main villain would be? And if so, what was their reaction? No, I did not consult with anyone because this was my book. I'm the one who wrote it. I did get a suggestion from someone. Unfortunately, that suggestion didn't work for this series, but it may very well work for the next series. Next book. I know what I mean. So because I wrote the book, I didn't consult with anyone and say, oh, do you think it's this one? Do you think it's that one? Because I didn't want to give it away. So I just came with the person on my own. But I did reveal it to one person, and that person was my mother. I did reveal to my mum. She's the only person who knows. Don't pester her. Don't ask her, because I have told her you're not allowed to tell anyone until I tell you. And I'm not going to tell her she can tell anyone until I put up the chapter. So don't ask her. She won't tell you, but she knows. And her reaction was a positive reaction. So that's good. So, yeah. Okay, Dalila asks, fighting for no reward seemed to come to a natural conclusion. Can the same be said for Cold in the Rain, or will it end on a cliffhanger? Okay, Cold in the Rain will come to a natural conclusion, Delilah. Delilah, I hope I'm saying this right. It will come to a natural conclusion. However, there will be potential for another book. So rather than it being... Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to go further than that. I like to keep mystery up in the air. It will come to a conclusion, but it leaves the story open enough that a 3rd book can be written. All right, we've got 2 more left, guys, and we're about 15 minutes over, so let's go. Janice asks, can you talk about the last part of the book, particularly the events within the maze? Didn't see that coming from this book, but loved it. Oh, thank you, Janice. I really appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. So, we started off the book with the whole, Andy wanting Jay, couldn't get Jay, really screws up at the end of Fighting for No Reward. Jay comes back, we need to talk, blah, 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 arguments. We finally get together and, Andy moves over to Pittsburgh to deal with Mika being in hospital, and Jay's back home in New Haven, and it's hard to get the relationship together. The court case happens, and, Jay comes over to Pittsburgh, back to Pittsburgh to make the relationship work and happen. And the whole time it's all about Andy and Jay and their relationship, and it still is to this day, because Jay was captured, and now Jay's wherever Jay is. I mean, that's really up in the air. I I know what's happening, but as far as the book is concerned, it's up in the air. So I can understand how you feel like the maze came completely left, out of center. So yeah, look, I wanted something like Saw. Did I get inspiration from the Dollhouse of PLL? Yes. Did I use anything that was used in the Dollhouse in PLL? No. One, I didn't want to copy that, and two, they didn't. They weren't at the Dollhouse long enough for me, which really sucks. They should have been there for many more episodes. But also, it was lighthearted because of the fact that it's a teenage show and all that. Where when I finally desensitized myself enough to watch Saw, and I'm gonna, I've been truthful to you all along, so I'll admit, definitely was a crybaby, very squeamish, until last year, at 28 years of age, I finally got through all of Saw, because I used to have nightmares after seeing the first Saw, and believe it or not, it was because of the mask. The mask of Saw freaked me out so much. But I desensitized myself enough to watch all Saw, and because what I love about Saw, I hate that people get killed. I hate seeing the blood and guts and everything. Really, I do. If it was a book, and it may be a book, I just don't know. But if it was a book, I would love to read it because I loved the traps that he created, and that this whole, it's like a revelation, this whole psychological trap of you, it's not that inevitable that you will die. If you actually do everything that you are meant to do, you will escape. It's about fighting for your life. And so I wanted to put that into this book for many reasons, but one of them being to intensify it a lot more. Because I think without the maze, it would have been a whole lot of waiting around the warehouse. And as Jenny says in one point to Debbie, well, why are we still doing this? We're just walking around and that's all we're doing. And that would have been it. It would have been everyone just walking around the warehouse and that's it. And yeah, so I wanted to really not only create another dimension, but really step it up to give, as I was saying yesterday, put a bit of action into a book. That was the action, putting in those, putting in the maze and the torturous traps and things like that. And the clues were a lot of fun. Now, the clues, are there clues in Saw? Yes, there are. Did I put clues in because of Saw? No, I actually did not. And you can believe me or not believe me about that, but I actually took the clues from watching Survivor. When you watch, because I've now, oh God, in the past 4 or 5 months, this shows how much I watch, 4 or 5 months, I've now watched like 30 straight seasons. So, and they're always reading like clues to an idol or clues to the challenge or whatever. I'm like, oh, got to do clues, got to do clues. So, and to modernize it, and because, paper would have been just interesting, but it wouldn't have been a big deal, even though there are paper and something, paper clues. To modernize it, that's why I had the monitor. And the rain came up on the monitor. And also for that chance to interact, like with Mel. Mel was being interacted with when she asked something, and it interacted saying, I wouldn't worry so much about others or whatever, So that's why I did that. Okay. I really would say more Janice, but I've got to keep moving on. We're already 20 or over 20 minutes over time. So if you want more, please just write to me again, and I will definitely give you a more detailed typed answer. So finally, Svetlana wrote, loved the book. What are your writing plans from here? Okay, thank you, Svetlana. I think that's a great note to end on. So the plan is I'm going to, once I've done chapter 34 and 35 in the author's note, and then Colton the Rain is put to bed, I'm going to take a 2-month sabbatical. I need it. To be quite blunt, I need it. So I'm going to take a good 2-month sabbatical and come back around May, which is around my birthday, which is awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. I love May. It's such a special month for me because it's my birthday. Birthday month and my mother's birthday month. Big shout out to my mum. Happy birthday for May. I know it's quite a few months away, but happy birthday for May. Yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, take sabbatical until May, but then I will keep writing. I've been told in the past with many different things, once you completely stop doing something, you don't pick it up again. I will pick it up. And just because I say I'm taking a sabbatical for 2 months, I don't necessarily mean that I won't do any writing, because I might get to the point where I get inspired and keep writing and then just publish in May. But you will get something in May, whether it is the third book in this series, whether it's a new book, you will get something. I can promise you that. And the best way to keep up to date with that is to either follow me on Twitter at Mark Braxton, with capital M and a capital B, or on Facebook at Francois Thurston, or at fanfic.net, Francois T, capital F, capital T. Okay, we have really run way over time, but you know what? You guys deserve it because you're all amazing. So I wanted to get through every single question, and we did. Thank you so much for joining me. A lot of people have been here today, so thank you very much for being here. And just, you know, it's been, what an amazing journey it has been writing this book. And it definitely wouldn't have happened without you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Who do you think is the leader of Team Evil? Who do you think the rest of the henchmen are? Let me know. I know you're all theorizing, and I know that it's a painful wait for a lot of you. Believe me, I get it, because I was like that with PLL, with a very painful wait. But Monday, if not Monday, Tuesday, is not too far away at all. Thank you so much for joining me. If you joined me in this chat, or if you joined me in the last chat, whether you're watching it live, watch that live, or responded after, or respond after this, thank you very much. Thank you to everyone for your support. I will be doing more live chats, whether it will be for this book or for your opinion. I will do some more live chats. So if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe, and we will have a lot more fun with that. And yeah, just again, thank you so much. I can't wait. Like, seriously, as much pain as you guys are in trying to work it out and can't wait to, you know, who it is, I can't wait to tell you who it is. So yeah, so I'm gonna basically leave here and be doing some writing. So I love you all so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your well wishes and support regarding my arm. Thank you for all your praise from the book. Thank you for your critiques of the book, whether they were good or bad. I appreciate it so much. In case this is the very last chat we do for the entire book, again, let me know if you want one. Once the book is done, happy to do it. In case this is the last chat, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for joining me on this path for the last 5.5 months. It has been an absolute dream come true. And again, I definitely could not do it without you. So thank you. I appreciate your support, and I love you all to death. Okay, guys, I have to go now. But yeah, if you want to see me in more live chats, just subscribe to all the things I've already said. And yeah, I'm outie. Peace, love, and light to you all, and blessed be. Thank you very much once again. Bye-bye.